The Mangiones, a name whispered in hushed tones throughout Baltimore. Their wealth was legendary, their influence undeniable. Nicholas Mangione, the patriarch, had built an empire. From hospitals to hotels, his name was everywhere. His son, Louis, followed in his footsteps. The family was untouchable, or so they thought. Luigi Mangione, the youngest son, was different. He was quiet, bookish. The weight of the family legacy rested heavy on his shoulders. He graduated from the University of Pennsylvania, a prestigious accomplishment. But something was amiss. A darkness lurked beneath the surface. Then came the news that shook Baltimore to its core. Brian Thompson, CEO of UnitedHealthcare, was found dead, murdered. And the prime suspect? Luigi Mangione. The city gasped. How could this be? The Mangione name, once synonymous with success, was now linked to something sinister. Their world, carefully constructed over generations, began to crumble. Brian Thompson was a giant in the healthcare industry. As CEO of UnitedHealthcare, he held the fate of millions in his hands. He was a controversial figure, admired by some, reviled by others. His murder sent shockwaves through the nation. Luigi Mangione, the quiet, unassuming heir, was the last person anyone suspected. He was arrested, charged with murder. The evidence was damning. A gun, registered to Luigi, was found at the scene. Security footage showed him entering Thompson's home. But something didn't add up. Luigi, despite his family's wealth, was a man of simple tastes. He lived in a modest apartment, shunning the extravagance of his upbringing. What could have driven him to murder? The discovery of a manifesto penned by Luigi himself shed a disturbing light on his motives. In it, he railed against the healthcare industry, accusing it of greed and corruption. Was this a case of a man driven to madness by a broken system? Behind the facade of wealth and privilege, Luigi Mangione was a man in turmoil. He suffered from chronic back pain, a constant source of agony. He withdrew from the world, seeking solace in books and online forums. His Goodreads account revealed a disturbing pattern. Luigi devoured books on back pain, searching for answers, for relief. One review, however, stood out. A chillingly positive review of the Unabomber's manifesto, a document espousing violence and anarchy. Had Luigi's pain pushed him over the edge? Had he found a twisted kinship with the Unabomber's anti-establishment rage? The manifesto, coupled with his online activity, painted a picture of a man consumed by anger and despair. The whispers started. Had the Mangione family, blinded by their wealth, failed to see the darkness growing within their own son? Baltimore, a city accustomed to headlines, was reeling. The Mangione family, once pillars of the community, were now at the center of a scandal that threatened to tear the city apart. Their philanthropic endeavors, once lauded, were now viewed with suspicion. Was it all a facade, a way to mask a darker truth? The community was divided. Some stood by the family, citing their years of generosity. Others felt betrayed, their trust shattered. The trial of Luigi Mangione promised to be a media circus. The prosecution, eager for a conviction, painted him as a cold-blooded killer, driven by a twisted ideology. The defense, however, argued that he was a victim himself, driven to madness by pain and despair. The city held its breath, waiting for the verdict. The fate of Luigi Mangione hung in the balance, along with the legacy of the family that had cast a long shadow over Baltimore for generations.